All right. Hello, guys, and welcome to another solo episode. It felt really good to share the journey we've been on for the past 2 years. So it's been a really long journey, and it felt really good sharing through the podcast. I did have a reel that was to promote the podcast that I have yet to post. I don't know if by the time you're listening to this, it will be up. I don't know. I just feel so sensitive in sharing all of this, and I want to do it in the way that just feels most aligned to me. And I'm honestly still figuring out what that looks like and what that means for me. But I was in the shower today and I was kind of analyzing, like, why am I hesitant to really show the most vulnerable parts of me? And it's not because I'm ashamed of it. It's not because I'm shy about it. I think it's more of like protecting my energy and also doing it in a way that just feels really aligned and authentic to me. And with this, I was brought back to the day I went to the doctor to confirm my pregnancy through the blood work. And I remember leaving and just being like, after I found out it was positive, I was just like, I want everyone to get their wish. And I want everyone to be able to finally feel the relief that the journey was worth it. And I know everyone's journey is different, and not everyone might want to have children or meant to have children, or the universe is giving them children in this lifetime. I do think that in other lifetimes, I've already experienced being a mom, and I'm excited to in this lifetime as well. But I think everyone has a different journey and a different story. But I just remember feeling like I want to share my story so that no one else feels alone. And I kind of like made that promise that I would do that. And I'm leaning more into that. And that's giving me a lot more courage to share more. And in the first episode, it was like such a different episode for me because this was really just going back and like telling you a timeline. And usually I feel like I'm giving some type of wisdom or information that I've received through the challenges, but that was kind of just like catching you up to right now. And when I saw a lot of these questions, I was like, okay, this is where we could go really deep together, and you can get kind of like an inside picture of what it was really like for me, what I was doing at the time. It's interesting because before this whole journey, I feel like I shared so much of my life forward facing on camera. I am a Leo rising. It feels really fun to do that. And then this journey happened, and I just wasn't guided to be so open while I was in it. And again, it wasn't because like I didn't want to, it was more me protecting this journey that I was going through. And I don't know why I feel like there needs to be such an added layer of protection lately. It's something that I'm analyzing within myself as well. But I just feel like social media can be a place where we should bring in extra protection. And this podcast, I feel like, is more of a place of community where people come and we sit and we listen and we connect, and especially like on the app as well, where we could go even deeper and just more personal there together. So that's just a little bit of what's been coming up and how I've been feeling. I did want to share a few things from my first trimester. Some things that made me realize that I was most likely pregnant was I couldn't get enough of coconut water and lemon water. And this happened in my other pregnancies as well. I just needed like lemon water. It's bizarre. I know that's a wild pregnancy craving. Don't worry. The carbs and all the candy came after that. But at first it was just like this need to like hydrate on a cellular level. And I was chugging coconut water and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I must be pregnant. This is wild. My body's just calling to hydrate and like the natural electrolytes. And then after that, as I got further into the first trimester, I started to feel just more tired, very, very, very emotional. I would cry a lot. I would watch pregnancy announcements or like people who were struggling, and I would just like sit on TikTok and cry 24/7. Like that's what I would do every night because I didn't have much energy to do much else. And from there, I needed a ton of carbs and I just needed sour candy. And I think it helps the nausea, honestly. I was getting served all the ads on Swedish candy, and I ordered every brand. And I've come to learn that Percy Pigs are the best. They're from the UK. I'm literally salivating just talking about them. Not just the Percy Pigs. You need to get the sour ones, and their pig tails. They are unbelievable. Literally salivating. And if you're a sour candy connoisseur, just do me a favor, order them. You get them on Amazon. But if you have a friend in the UK, they get them a lot cheaper. They could send them to you and enjoy. Like, you will be obsessed. So I want to go into the questions. Let's get started. When did you know you were ready to bring children into the world? So as I said in my last episode, Vinny and I were really unsure about this, and we really weren't sure until we started to go through challenge. And to be honest, like, I feel like I wasn't ready until now. Like, until I was like, wait, this is really, really happening. And I all of a sudden feel very, very connected to this energy and ready. I have to be honest with you. I think Bam Bam came into our life to prepare us for this chapter. I think about how much I love him. This sounds so corny, but like, I think about how much I love him and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, of course I would love a child. Of course I would love to take care of a child. But in the past, that kind of scared me, overwhelmed me. And now all of a sudden my perspective just completely shifted. And I have to be honest with you. I think the challenge in our journey actually really guided us into knowing that this is what we want to do. And we feel as ready as we've ever felt, but I don't think we'll ever be completely ready. But I definitely feel the most ready that I've ever felt in my life. And I'm really now excited for it. I'm like visualizing the nursery and having all the things that I need to get to support the baby. I thought typically people like grow up knowing that they want kids. And I think I always knew I wanted a family, but I never really dreamed of like, I can't wait to have the baby until now, until right now, until this pregnancy. So it definitely took us long. The next question we got was, did you have bad morning sickness, currently in it, and have never felt so hopeless? Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not have really bad morning sickness. I never threw up. I definitely had nausea. But at the time of when the symptoms started symptoming, I was so fucking excited to have symptoms, guys. Like, I would go and like be like, am I nauseous? And get excited about being nauseous because I was finally feeling a symptom I've never felt before. And I was finally progressing to the state that I wanted to be at. So in the morning, I would definitely get nauseous and I would have to eat right away. That really helped me. I also think the sour candy throughout the day helped me as well. Again, like, I never got to the point where I was throwing up, so I really don't know horrible morning sickness. I got like these tinges of nausea that I wouldn't typically have. And I found it so exciting because, again, like, I've never had that symptom before, and it showed me that my hormones were doing their thing. And since I wasn't so sick from it, it wasn't horrible for me. Like, I was able to find the excitement of it. I know other people who just get so sick and they feel so ill and feel like they can't even function. And I know that's like a whole different story. So I was pretty lucky, but I definitely did need to eat right away. And I started having these ginormous breakfasts. I started doing this for the last 2 years though, to start to regulate my hormones and really support myself in the mornings. So it was something I was used to, but I was noticing like I couldn't cheat. Like, I couldn't go an extra hour without eating. I needed to eat in the morning. Someone asked, and this kind of goes with the first question, did you not want children to begin with and then decided together? We definitely decided together. It's definitely an idea we always had, but we didn't necessarily like want to take action on it until we did. And if you listen to the last episode, you kind of understand more. But I feel like I was always very, very career focused. I feel like I was very, very much in my masculine energy for the past however many years until this journey. And Evolve has helped me to come into a more feminine energy and just being the business owner of a very intuitive business, an intuitive community, intuitive space. I've been able to just like flow a lot more in my life and make money in a different way than how I thought I always had to, by like grinding and hustling and hours and hours. And it's funny because I was just at my house and Gianna was here at the space, and I was thinking about how like I wasn't at the space, but I was working the entire morning, but it doesn't feel like work to me because I love it so much. So like, I don't want to paint the picture that I don't work as much. I probably work more than I did, but it doesn't feel like work because it's such an expression of my intuition, of my creativity and a flow. So that alone, just living in my purpose gratefully, has helped me to find more of a feminine flow in my life. And I think that has helped me understand the beauty of becoming a mother and how it's just such an important important job. And I never really looked at it that way until I was able to come into my feminine and really see how beautiful that is. So it did take us some time to realize that like we always knew we wanted a family, but like that meant that we were going to have children. And it took us a little while to get into this place. And I think the ups and downs have really helped us get very, very clear on where we're going and what we want for this next chapter in our life. Really sweet question. How are you feeling? I feel incredible. I have to admit, I'm so grateful about that. After my 11-week appointment, all of a sudden, any symptoms I was having were pretty much gone. And I just started to feel really amazing. And people talk about the second trimester just being a lot easier, a lot more comfortable. And you get this like renewed energy. And that was very true for me. I know everyone has a different experience. I think there was also this like mental load I was carrying the entire first trimester because I know how crucial that time is. And when I finally got further along than I've ever had before, and when everything was looking good, I think like the mental load just released and I was able to really enjoy it a bit more. It was still hard for me to completely enjoy to like where I am now, I feel like. But in the beginning, I remember the 11-week mark just being like, wow, I could release all of this tension, everything that I'm holding, and allow myself to enjoy a bit more. And I did that slowly with people we're really close to and just sharing with them and enjoying and being excited with them. But I feel really good right now. And I'm so blessed and grateful for where we're at. And I'm so humbled by this experience. Like it is a miracle. Every day is a miracle. Every day that I'm healthy and the baby's healthy is a miracle. And I'm just so grateful for it. And that I don't think that will ever, ever, ever be lost on me. Like it's just something that I'm going to carry with me through every single moment and day. A question about communication with the baby before he or she came down to you guys. So it's interesting. I have dreams all the time for other people. And I usually know when close friends are pregnant because I will have dreams about it. For me, I only had one dream and it was pretty cool. I actually was giving birth. No one was around. There was like not a doctor to be found. My husband, no idea where he was. My mom, like no idea where anyone was. It was me giving birth to this baby and it was beautiful. It was just like the most beautiful feeling and energy. I hope to have everyone around me supporting me, as I know I cannot do this alone. But I think it just symbolized like how special this is and how much power I have within me, and that it could be a blissful and beautiful experience no matter what it looks like. So that was the only dream I really had. I think that I've had a lot of signs for sure throughout. I remember leaving my fertility appointment. I could like cry thinking about this. And it's when I was confirming my pregnancy. And I looked on the wall and there was like a rainbow prism. It was clearly like a reflection from something, but it was on a wall that wasn't even like facing the light. And there was just this rainbow across it. And I'm like, that my rainbow baby's coming, like for sure. So there were signs along the way. And I look forward to having more dreams. So in Kundalini tradition, we believe that the soul enters the body around 120 days. And I've had that recently. It was a few weeks ago. It was actually right around mine and Vinny's anniversary, which was really sweet. It just happened to land on that. And that's when we can connect more with the soul. But I constantly talk to the baby. I feel like I'm very connected to the energy there. And I'm excited for more dreams and communication as well. What did I do energetically to conceive? This could probably be a podcast in and of itself, but there are a lot of things I did energetically to conceive. So I was going to acupuncture 1 to 2 times a week at one point with an acupuncturist my friend referred me to her. And I just like grew to love her. And she would tell me all the time, she's like, Erica, soon. And I think this could be very, very triggering. It wasn't to me because I kind of knew that I could get pregnant based off of my experience. And I felt deep in my soul that I would get pregnant naturally. But she would tell me, like, I see it a lot with patients that when they calm and they release and they really detach and let it go, that's when it comes in. And I know how triggering that can be. Like if you're listening and you're like, F that, because I've tried everything and that's not my issue. That is not everyone's issue at all. But in the laws of the universe, there is this energy of detachment And if it applies to you, great. If it doesn't, let it go and release it. But there was just a shift in me. And I really did release and relax. And again, it was around the same time my grandpa was really sick and I knew he was passing. And honestly, I think I was just so freaking exhausted at that point of like trying for a full year without getting pregnant after, a whole year of everything else we went through. So like collectively 2 years, I think I was just so tired that I was like, I surrender to the plan, and what's meant for me is meant for me. If I need to take other action eventually, if I'm guided to, I will. But right now, like I'm doing everything I can. I'm talking to God and being like, please send me the baby that's meant for us. And I do think that energy of detachment, there is something to it. Is that all there is to it? Absolutely not. I also went to Marcy very often through this for energetic healing. I went to Tiffany for spinal energetic healings. I was, of course, doing all my own meditations, talking to the baby, claiming and declaring that we're ready and that we're ready to let this soul in. The craziest part about this was we have one bedroom in our house right now that would be the baby's room. And I moved out of that bedroom and into the space and literally created space in my home. And I said, like, this is it. Like this space is available for you. And I moved into this space and we conceived the month we opened the space. So, I mean, energetically, like maybe I truly, and so many people tell me this, but maybe I truly was supposed to give birth to the space before actually conceiving. Maybe the space was meant to come into fruition. We could look at it that way, sure. Also, with Feng Shui, I had my friend Amanda Moore come over and she said that we had a lot of like blocking, like objects blocking our front door. And I moved a bench that was literally like blocking the flow into the front door. And that could have played a role. I feel like there were so many things energetically that I did that year, but that's some of them. I also just, like I said, journaling, speaking to the soul, claiming that we're ready, and doing all the things in the physical too, getting the tests, getting the blood work, going to the fertility doctor. That was a really big action step for me, and seeing, if I needed intervention and what I needed support in there. So there were a lot of things, and I think some more things might come to me, but those are some of the things we did energetically to conceive. And of course, like everyday practice. Oh, I'm remembering this now. Every time I would meditate, I went through the 2 miscarriages, and every time I would meditate, I would be like, okay, now I'm going to focus my intention on bringing in the baby and like welcoming in the baby and the energy of the baby. And the space would come right in front of it. And I was like, why are you like, this is before I open the space. I'd be like, why are you here? Like, I want to focus. Like I had so much loss. I want to focus on like this huge important thing that I want to bring into my life. Why do you keep coming in front of it? And I literally could not meditate and really tap into that energy because the energy of the space would literally come right in front of it. And now in hindsight, it makes a lot of sense. Like it did want to come in first for sure. And we can definitely look at it that way. But I do remember that very, very specifically. And that's what helped me to gain the courage to open the space, because I really was uncertain about a plan here. I was uncertain how I would even make the rent happen. And it was just this feeling. And I knew, like, if I can't even sit and think about my future building a family because this space wants to come to fruition, like I have to move it. I have to move that energy and bring it into life. So that was something energetically that I think helped us as well. What meditation did you lean into most? There were a lot. I did a lot of the meditations on Evolve for trust, leaning into trust. I did a lot for clearing and healing the energy that I was carrying within me. Mantra hours, of course, were so special and sacred and helped to move so much energy. And then when I was trying to conceive that second half of my cycle, I would really tone it back and do very, very gentle meditation. So any of like the really soothing, calming, blissful ones I would tune into. And like the be present here and now, I think it's called. I love that one. I would practice that a lot because the truth is, when we are trying to conceive, we want something to stick. We want it to hold. We're not trying to cleanse and clear and release, right? We're trying to hold on to something. So the second half of my cycle, I wouldn't be doing breath of fire. I almost acted if I was pregnant for the second half of my cycle. And I think energetically that gives off an energy too. Like, I'm here, I'm preparing, and I'm ready. Obviously, in Kundalini, it says you could practice so much until 120 days, but that's just specifically what I wanted to do and what felt good in my body. And you could always listen to what you need to do. I also listened to Rogan Tay a lot. I had mantras playing in my house a lot. Rogan Tay is, if you actually chat GBT Rogan Tay and how it impacts you and fertility and the embryo, it's pretty wild, but it's a sound current that's supposed to help the embryo develop and give energy towards that life that you're forming, which is wild. So that's something I listen to a lot on repeat. Also, to go on, so many things come to me. So the month that I opened the space, the month I conceived, was also the month that White Sun came out with Gordukian. And this is a very beautiful and I think very special mantra. And I didn't know the meaning behind it, but it is just so glorious and beautiful to listen to that I could not stop listening to it. And then one day I saw Guru Jas post the meaning or the intentions of this mantra. And one of them, I'll never forget, it was like, when you've tried everything, try this. And I had full body chills because I felt like I had tried everything. I know I haven't. I know other people's journeys are longer, more extensive with more treatment, etc. But for me, my personal journey, I felt like I was trying everything. And this was a mantra that I listened to nonstop. And I do feel like that played a role in my frequency, in my energy. Maybe it helped me to surrender. Maybe it helped me to have that energy of like, I'm just going to trust and release. Never underestimate the power of your meditation and the power of mantra, people, because it is so freaking transformative. It's not even funny. Someone said, congratulations. I know you were and maybe still are vegan. Are you eating vegan while pregnant? So this is not any type of advice. I'm going to tell you intuitively what I've been guided to for the last few years. So basically, the month before our first conception, I was on the beach. I'll never forget it. It was August or July or August. And I was like, Vin, we're leaving the beach right now. I need salmon for dinner. And he's like, what are you talking about? You're vegan. You don't eat salmon. I'm like, I need it right now. My body, right before I got on this journey, all of a sudden started craving different things. So I started eating eggs. I started eating seafood. Honestly, this is so bizarre because I feel like this is something people hate in pregnancy. I am loving grilled chicken. I'm eating steak. I'm eating beef. Is it because someone told me I should? People have definitely told me that. I've had acupuncturists tell me that as well. I don't know if that penetrated my subconscious, but intuitively, my body wants it. My body actually wants to eat it. When I was vegan, I didn't want to touch any of this with a 10-foot pole. And then slowly I started introducing things and it felt good in my body. So I'm not vegan and it's not for any specific reason. It's not that I don't think I could be. I really do not know. I'm just doing what my body craves, what my body's guided to. And it is guided to a lot of animal-based protein right now, which is pretty crazy and wild because it's so different than everything I've eaten in the past. But I actually was talking to someone, Alexandra, who had a birthing class here at the space, which was amazing. We're doing another one. Look out for it if you're interested in that. But she was saying how she was vegan for a while and how someone shared with her this idea of like, when you are pregnant, it's like more about grounding and earthing, and those heavier, denser foods definitely ground us more. And it helped her in her journey. And I thought that was an interesting perspective as well. The next question I love so much. Oh, was it hard to stay positive and hopeful at times? How did you push through the hard times? Guys, it was so fucking hard. It was so hard. And honestly, I feel like when you have trouble getting pregnant, suddenly everyone is pregnant. Like the closest people to me were pregnant. And I was, of course, so happy for them, so excited for them. But of course, it does remind you of what is glaring in your life or what you're missing or what you're looking for. So it was so hard. And I'll tell you how I helped myself in those moments. It wasn't just with me. I definitely relied on a lot of people and professionals to support me through the time. But there were days where being positive came easier than others. My morning practice, of course, has always helped me just get onto that positive frequency. But something I would keep thinking about is like, I know I would feel into this energy. I didn't know, of course, but I felt into the energy of like, I know this will happen for me one day. And I want to be proud of the person who went through the challenge. I want to handle this with grace and with love and with high frequency energy and this energy of connectedness and not separation of like they have something that I don't have. And that was kind of like my mantra. Like I want to be proud of who I am through this journey. And I do not know if that resonates with you at all. That resonated with me deeply. And it helped me to be like, Erica, you're going to be on the other side of this one day. One day it's going to be your time to celebrate, and you're going to get there, and just try your best to be present right here and right now. It was very, very, very hard to be positive. There were so many times where I would just like cry and wonder, like, is this ever going to happen? And I feel like social media can make it look like, oh my gosh, everyone just gets pregnant and has a family. And that's why I want to have these conversations, because it's really not like that. And a lot of people you might be looking at thinking that they may have gone through a struggle too, and you're just unaware of it because they didn't share, and that's okay. I pushed past the hard times because I tried to focus on all the abundance that I had in my life. And I would think about it over and over, like think about all the abundance, all the ways that I'm so grateful. But especially when hormones are involved, it can be really hard. It can be really hard to think that anything is positive when you're going through such a roller coaster of emotions, of hormones, of devastation, and all the things that loss can bring or the journey to conceive can bring. So it was hard for me. I had very, very, very hard days. And, it was my job to show up anyway. And I think coming to the practice and helping others also helped me. But also taking time to grieve, taking time to mourn, taking time to like let myself think all the shitty feelings I was thinking. I let myself be the victim. I let myself have a pity party for myself some days. And then I know how energy works. So I'd be like, okay, Erica, is it time for you to choose now? You can stay here and you could think like this for however long you want, or we're going to choose and we're going to make a choice of where we're putting our energy after you take the time to really feel it all. And that's what I would do every day. I would just make the choice and feel, spend time there, and then make the choice. And it's hard as hell. And that's why, I wanted to share this, because if you're going through this, all the things you're feeling, I probably have felt, and a lot of other people have probably have felt, regardless of what you've seen being shared on social media. And it could feel really dark and really isolating and really lonely. But it's important to have the people that could support you, the practices, the tools, and that connection to faith. Because if I didn't have that, I don't know how I would have really felt. Just being able to say, like, universe, I know you have a greater plan for me than I do for myself, and I trust you. And I say this all the time still, like, I have to trust you, and I have to put all of my control into your power and hand it over and completely trust what's meant for me in my lifetime. Are you worried how a baby will affect your morning meditation schedule? I feel like I'm going to have mantras playing 24/7 in my home. I already do. Vinny's like, Erica, what's going on with the mantras again? Why are they playing? I'm like, babe, please. He hasn't touched the speaker. It's still playing, which is great. I'm really proud of him for that. So I think like I'll be in and out of constant meditation. I think I'm going to need the mantras constantly playing and me chanting them for support. I think that will calm the baby. I think it will calm me and help me to heal. And I know that with the power of our breath, we could connect whenever. So I hope to breastfeed. We'll see if the baby wants to and if everything works out that way. That's the other thing I learned, guys. Like, we have to hold everything so loosely, because we could have these ideals And not everything's up to us. I think when we become a mother, there's a lot up to the child. And I think in life in general, there's a lot up to the universe. So, but I hope like that would be a time where like I could just see myself connecting to my breath and doing a meditation and chanting. And it's just going to be something we definitely do together for a very long time until, I don't know, until the baby doesn't want to do it with me anymore or they're too big. But yeah, I just think it's so part of my life. It's so ingrained in my life. I could be meditating anywhere and people like might not even really know that I'm doing it. So I'm really not worried about that at all. And I'm so grateful for that connection, that divine connection and the foundation I've laid now, because with just a few breaths, I'm there in that space. And I know that we'll probably all need it. What prenatal vitamins do you recommend? And did you add or take away any supplements or habits? So I don't feel confident recommending any prenatals or any supplements, to be honest with you. I feel like you need to listen to your intuition about that. I move intuitively through everything and I just know, like, I feel like I know when something's for me and something's not for me. I'm questionable about the ones I take. I don't know if I'm like sold on them. I'm doing needed. There's like 8 pills a day, which I think is wild, but also I get it. We're developing and growing a human and we need as much as we can get. And then I'm taking an omega by Fullwell. I also was really interested and I thought about switching from needed to Thorn just because I feel like Thorn has like a lot of integrity. You don't like hear that much about it, but like my holistic doctor, or like my integrative medicine doctor would always say that's a really good product. So I thought about switching, but I haven't. And honestly, like I'm on the like auto ship of needed. It's working for me. I feel fine with it. So I'm going with it. But again, like I don't really feel confident recommending anything. I think our intuition is our greatest power, and literally buy a few of them and see like which ones you feel most guided to, or ask a professional that you're working with and go from there. I definitely took away all the supplements I was taking other than the prenatal and the omega. So I was taking like a boatload of supplements. I was loving my supplement morning. And now it's like minimal. I'm just doing the prenatals and the omega. And that was recommended to me by someone that I work with. Any habits that you've added or taken away? Absolutely. So a habit that I do every day, I do have elements every day. I love their electrolytes. I do think there are natural flavors in it, which is unfortunate, but I usually take like half and really dilute it just to get electrolytes every morning to really hydrate. I go for a walk almost every single morning after my meditation practice. And that's like my workout. And then some days, if I feel really good and really strong, I will add another workout in. So if I'm looking to weight lift, I will do Be the Method with Leah Bartha. Those days are far and few between, I'll be honest. When it was early second trimester and I had a burst of energy, I was doing Sculpt Society again, which I really like. They have a prenatal program. But right now, what I'm doing mostly is Melissa Wood Health because it's very gentle. I'm not using any weights right now. My acupuncturist told me to not use any weights. I'm like, literally not even 2-pound ankle weight. She's like, why do it? And like, once I hear that, I'm like, oh, you're right. Like nothing is worth anything. And like, I just won't go as hard. But then I think about other people who are doing like wild weightlifting and I'm like, I'm over here being like, I can't even lift an ankle weight. Like, I think we know our bodies. We know what it can handle. And if I'm guided to, I'll add the weights in. But for right now, I'm just doing body weight exercises. Acupuncture, I'm doing weekly. I'm trying to think of things I added or taken away. This is such a good question. I think added a ton more protein into my diet because I've been guided to. I've also added a ton of more ice cream into my diet. It is summer and I'm just like loving and enjoying life. So I love ice cream, vanilla with olive oil and sea salt, guys. You have to do it. It's delicious. I mean, like no saunas, no really hot showers or baths. The products I'm using, I talk to ChatGPT all the time. Like my bestie, we talk about pregnancy 24/7 together. So I went through every product and I've just become more aware of like the ones that are super safe versus the ones that are like questionable. I think that's it. The next question was tips for stress and anxiety waiting early pregnancy. Oh gosh, guys. I just remember being like, I am nothing. I am neutral. And that was it. And I think I spoke about this in the last episode. Like, I refused to be really excited and I refused to be really scared. I just wanted to be in a place of neutrality. So I would do meditations to help activate the neutral mind. With that being said, I don't know if that's the right suggestion, because I think there is something about being excited and allowing yourself to feel it and enjoying the present moment. But for me, my coping mechanism was just to be neutral. And by being neutral, it helped me to show up at work. It helped me to continue to work on this space. It helped me to do all the things I do in my life just by being neutral. Like, I needed to be neutral and grounded. That's specifically what I focused on. But again, it's not advice. It's just what I did. I think for stress and anxiety, meditation's always a very good thing. I actually want to create a whole program for people who are trying to conceive, but also who have conceived and who are pregnant and on their journey of meditations that can support you. And I think leaning into trust, leaning into faith, doing any of those meditations, you could literally search like trust or faith, allowing yourself to really tap into this plan that's so much greater than us and really lean into the universe's arms and just be like, I know this is bigger than me. You know what I want. You know what I'm setting intention for. And the rest is up to you. And I'm going to show up in the way I can and being the co-creator, and the universe is going to do its thing. And that's it. And I think like that's the greatest gift that my meditation practice gave me during this process, is being able to have faith, being able to believe in something way greater than what's in the here and now, because there is so much more going on behind the scenes. There's so much more left to our story of life that we don't even know, that we actually may have signed up for as we came in, but we don't remember it. And we just have to trust that everything is unfolding and happening in divine time and the way that it's meant to in our life, and be okay with that. And I had to get to that space too. I really had to get to the space of true surrender, absolute surrender. However this goes, I surrender it and I trust that it's part of my plan. I pray for the highest good for me, for all, and I trust. I trust in the plan and I surrender to it. So the final question, one that many have been asking, no one asked about the gender. I'm surprised, but many asked, when will the baby be here, earthside, and when are we due? And I have this like problem with due dates, because I'm like, the baby's gonna come when the baby wants to come, but we're due in December. So mid to end December, but we'll see. I hold everything lightly, and we'll see when the baby wants to make the debut. We do know the gender. I could not stand a minute of the gender being available and me not knowing it. I thought maybe, guys, I would be kind of chill and be like, okay, it's in our email. Let's get a cupcake and do a cute reveal. I called Vinny up. I was like, get your ass home, because this email is getting opened whether or not you're there in 20 minutes, because that's when I'm arriving. He met me home. It was so weird. We happened to be wearing pink and blue. Whatever. That was random. I'm going to save that for another episode. We'll share the gender at some point together. But I want to hear your predictions, and thank you. I just thank you so much for being here on this journey and for coming here with so much love and support. And that is the intention of these episodes, like really remembering the journey that brought me to here and now, because I could easily show up on Instagram and be in this bliss of like, I'm pregnant, I'm so happy, and I have a bump and all the things. And it's like, that would only be a very little part of the picture, because this has only been how many months? 5, almost 6 months. And it's been 2 full years of a journey. So I'm so grateful and humbled by this experience. I'm so grateful that you're here to listen. And if you know anyone that this can help or support in any way, please share it with them, send it over to them. But if you are going through a journey, a struggle, I'm thinking about you. I'm cheering you on. I am sending you so much love, so much strength from afar. And I pray for you. And I know what's meant to be will be. And we just always have to connect to that highest good. We set intention for the highest good for us and for all. Thank you so much for being here. And I can't wait to see you next time. May the long time sun shine upon you. Sat Nam.